Okay, for every single apprentice out there, this one is for you. We are going to talk about how to take all that amazing work you're doing and turn it into absolute gold on LinkedIn.
So, picture this. You've just finished a huge project. You poured everything into it, you learned a ton, you delivered. And then, crickets. That big question hits you. How do I make sure the right people actually see the value in what I just accomplished?
And honestly, that's the whole game right there. The hard part isn't the work itself. You've already proven you can do that. It's making your work visible. It's making sure that your managers, recruiters, your whole network sees the impact you made and the skills you built.
So how do we do that? Well, we've got a game plan. We're going to walk through two really powerful strategies, the Teach Me post and the Behind the Scenes post. Then we'll hit a rapid-fire round of pro tips to answer all your burning questions. Let's jump in.
All right, first up, strategy number 1, the Teach Me post. This is all about changing how people see you. You're going to go from being the learner to being the expert just by sharing what you know.
And here's why this works so well. Teaching is the ultimate form of value. When you help someone else solve a problem that you just figured out, leaders and recruiters really start to pay attention. You're not just telling them you're skilled, you're actively proving it.
Now, a great Teach Me post follows 3 really simple rules. First, it has to be crystal clear and super specific. Second, it has to give people something they can actually do. And maybe most important of all, stick to just one single nugget of wisdom per post. Don't try to write a novel.
This one nugget idea is so important. Seriously, don't try to write a textbook. Imagine a coworker pulls you aside right before a big meeting and says, "Hey, can you quickly explain that thing you did?" That one clear, helpful tip is way more powerful than a long, complicated explanation.
Feeling stuck? You're thinking, I don't have any ideas. Oh, you do. Just ask yourself these 3 things. 1. What's that one question people on your team kept asking you about your project? 2. What's one thing you teach the next apprentice who takes your spot? And 3. What's a new trend in your field that you just learned about? See? You're surrounded by great content.
Okay, let's shift gears to strategy number 2, the Behind the Scenes post. Now this one's a little different. It's less about teaching a hard skill and more about sharing your journey and building real human connections.
The psychology here is really simple. People love getting an inside look. You don't need to be on a stage at a huge conference, sharing what you learned from a team presentation or an online meetup or even just a project update. It gives people a window into your world. It makes them feel like they're on the journey with you.
And there's a super simple playbook for this. First, look at your calendar for any kind of event. Yep, even an internal team meeting counts. While you're there, grab a couple of photos, especially of the people involved. Afterwards, just write a quick post with your top takeaways, tag the people who were there, and then, and this is key, jump into the comments and keep the conversation going.
Okay, you've got the 2 main strategies. Now, let's do a quick lightning round of pro tips to answer the questions that are probably already popping into your head.
First up, the big one. What is the magic number? How often should you actually be posting on LinkedIn?
The sweet spot is somewhere between 1 and 4 times a week. That keeps you top of mind without spamming people's feeds. And the golden rule? Please, whatever you do, never post more than once a day. All right, next question. What about links? You've probably heard that putting a link in your post is the kiss of death for engagement. So what's the deal?
It's kind of a myth. Here's the thing. The problem isn't the link. It's the lack of context. Just dropping a link is like handing someone a book with a totally blank cover. You have to tell them why they should open it. You have to explain the value for them before they'll ever click.
Okay, this one's tough. You put in the effort, you write a post, and nothing. It can be super frustrating. But usually, there's a pretty simple reason why it's happening.
Let's run a quick diagnostic. Ask yourself these 3 things. Number 1, who am I actually talking to? If the answer is everyone, that's a problem. Number 2, am I writing about what I genuinely know from my own experience? And number 3, be honest. Is my first sentence boring? Does it make someone want to stop scrolling?
Speaking of that opening, you want to aim for what's called a maximalist opening. You got to pack all the value right into the first line or 2. So instead of, here are some tips, try something like, for any apprentice drowning in data, this is the one Excel trick that saved me 10 hours last week. See the difference?
And now we've reached what I think is the most important question of all, especially when you're an apprentice. It's that little voice in your head that says, but I'm just learning. What expertise do I actually have to share? This right here is the biggest mindset shift you need to make. Just forget the word expertise for a second. It's too big, too scary. Instead, ask yourself a much simpler question. What do my coworkers already ask me for help with? The answer to that question, well, that's your value. That's your expertise in action. It's already there.
So, let's wrap this all up. You are doing valuable, important work every single day in your apprenticeship. And that work, and everything you're learning from it, absolutely deserves to be seen. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. It's not enough to just do great work. To really build your career and show people what you're capable of, you have to share the work.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Think about what you're working on right now. What is one piece of value, one lesson, one insight, one quick tip that you are going to share in your very next post?